Hey guys, Brady here. Wow, I've been in a long hiatus again. What's wrong with me? Alright, so we've all heard of Pac-Man, right? Yeah, let's get to the topic. We've all heard of Pac-Man, right? He is one of, if not one of the greatest video game characters and one of the first video game characters of all time. And when he first dropped into the scene in 1980, he made quite a big splash. So of course Pac-Man became a big hit, spawning many things, including toys and, of course, different genre games. The exact same game repeated over and over, like Professor Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man, Pac-Man Jr., Pac-and-Pal, Super Pac-Man, Pac-Mania. Those were all maze games, by the way. All maze games. And he later jumped into other things like kart racing with Pac-Man World Rally. I wouldn't recommend playing that game, though, because I heard it was pretty crap. But he also had some kart racing with Mario in Mario Kart Arcade GP. Yeah, Mario Kart Arcade GP 1, 2, and Deluxe. And he's also had his experience with party games as well, with Pac-Man Fever and Pac-Man Party, respectively. I'll let you take a wild guess on which one is the bad one. I'll give you a clue. It's Pac-Man Fever. Actually, Pac-Man Fever is okay for me. But as we all know, with every video game character has a contract, right? Because they're a video game character and they need to make money and do other crap instead. So every contract has to include a cartoon show. And Pac-Man's contract was no different. Characters like Mario, Link, Sonic, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Simon Belmont, Mega Man, Pit, all their contracts included a cartoon show. Well, Mega Man, Simon, and Pit all appeared in Captain N, one of the worst video game cartoons of all time, according to fans. And of course, Pac-Man had to have cartoons as well. In the mid-'80s, he had a nice little Pac-Land cartoon based off the horrible Pac-Land platformer. I wouldn't recommend playing that game, and I would not recommend playing the stage in Super Smash Bros. That it's based off of. But sadly, in 2013 and 2014, we were greeted with one of the worst shows on Disney XD besides Camp Lake Bottom and Pen Zero Part-Time Hero, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. From the beginning season to the end Christmas special, people despised this cartoon. However, naturally, every cartoon show has to have a video game. Like Yokai Watch, Steven Universe, which he had like 3 games. He had like Attack the Light, Save the Light, and another light game. Let me know if you guys like Attack the Light and Save the Light, because I'm planning to get Save the Light on the Switch, because it looks incredible. And of course, there's been countless Adventure Time games, Secret of the Nameless Kingdom, Explore the Dungeon Because I Don't Know, Hey Ice King, Why'd You Steal Our Garbage, Finn and Jake Investigations. These are actual names of video games. The Amazing World of Gumball didn't really have a game. He had a plethora of browser games, though. So naturally, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures was given a Nintendo Wii U game. Premiering in 2013, this game actually was, believe it or not, it was actually announced way before the real cartoon show was announced as well. That's right. The video game was announced before the cartoon. We didn't know it was going to appear on Disney XD, the most awkward source for cartoons. Lab Rats, Mighty Mid. I'm trying to think. Was that one with the giant robots? X-Force. Good Luck Charlie. Gamer's Guide to Pretty Much Everything. Those were cartoons, right? No. But Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures was no different. Now, this game is actually a bit more funner to play. Yeah, I feel like the video game Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures got right is what the Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures cartoon got wrong. Making fart jokes in a video game cartoon, creating useless side characters in a video game cartoon, losing the heart of Pac-Man as a whole, making him have fingers. And I'm sure that most of you prefer the design from Smash Bros. In fact, I think the Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures design was supposed to be the design for him in Smash Bros. But Sakurai was like, no, we want the classic. So it was either classic Pac-Man or no Pac-Man at all. Let me know if I should start doing Smash Bros. Discussions, because I've been doing Smash Bros. Discussions on He-Man's channel a lot. So yeah. This game didn't get the best reviews. It has a 7 out of 10 on NintendoLife.com, and for GameSpot, it's got a 5 out of 10. That's right, guys. No IGN review. Hooray! But the sequel was supposed to get an IGN review, but never did. And yes, there's a sequel to this game. And it's based off the earlier seasons. Actually, no, this is based off the earlier seasons. The sequel is based off the later seasons. So why does the Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures video game succeed in every way possible? Alright, let's talk about it. The game was released for Nintendo Wii U, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3, as well as a Nintendo 3DS version. I'm getting horrible signs of the SpongeBob Plankton's Robotic Revenge syndrome. You know how Plankton's Robotic Revenge was a awful game, and it somehow appeared on the Nintendo Wii U and Nintendo 3DS, along with Xbox 360 and PS3, and DS? Well, this game kind of suffers the same syndrome, minus the Nintendo DS version. This game came out on the Wii U, 3DS, Xbox, and PlayStation. The 3DS version is actually a 2D platformer, believe it or not. Alright, now for the story. The story here is Pac-Man and his buddies Cylindria and Spiral. That's their actual names. Thanks. Notice that Professor Circumference, and yes, that's his name. These are all characters from the show, by the way. He's like, I found these energy orbs from the last time you visited the temple. You guys remember that one episode of the Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures where they go to the temple and Pac-Man dresses up like Indiana Jones? Yeah, I remember that one. And then, naturally, the villain of this game and the show, Betrayus, shows up and steals the Frigid Digitator. And that, my friends, is the most cringiest moment in Pac-Man history. Give it up. And so, Pac-Man has to save the world, the only way he knows how, gobbling up ghosts and spitting out their eyeballs. So the gameplay here is somewhat on the lines of a 3D platformer. Not a pseudo-open world or a open world game in general, but just somewhat of a return to the Pac-Man World games. It seems like that. And yes, you can chomp, you can do the boo attack, which is activated by the controller of your choice. Wii U, I have the X button that activates it. And believe it or not, I have the sequel on Xbox 360. Dual consoles for dual fun. So yeah. And then there's Powerups. Freaking Powerups in a Pac-Man game. And we've had our fair share of power-ups in the Pac-Man games, even though there was only one power-up, the Power Pellet, which is just invincibility and you can eat the ghosts. However, in this game, there's a slew of amazing power-ups. Some are useful and others aren't. For example, you have the Ice Berry, and yes, they're called berries instead of pellets, because they want to do stuff with the pellets and call them berries. And that's what they call them in the show as well. So there's the Ice Berry, which lets you shoot ice from your tongue. The Chameleon Berry, which lets you turn invisible and use your chameleon tongue. There's the Metal Berry, which lets you use your magnet tongue to reel in ghosts and stun them, and you could walk on ceilings and walls that require the magnetic personality. And then there's also other ones too, like the Fire Berry, which naturally makes you Fire Mario and lets you shoot fireballs. There's the Spin Pack, which is basically Beyblade Pack, where he's like spinning on a top, and then you could go. You press and hold the button of your choice and just create a trail, and then he just dashes like pew. And then there's the Balloon Berry, which is probably the most useless berry. It's only useful in like 1 or 2 levels of the 4th world, I believe. And that's just to name a few. Oh, and let's not forget Granite Ball, which, like I said, that's from the Indiana Jones episode. Pac-Indiana Jones. No thanks. And then there's the Rubber Pack, which is basically Limbless Pac-Man, except he can bounce, like... And yes, there are bosses as well. Well, not until the 3rd and final world you can fight the boss battles. That's it. I do remember the chef boss battle, where he cooks up some stuff and Pac-Man has to eat them, like, whoop. And every time he eats one, he gets more and more sick and can only move slower every time he eats something. He needs to start eating healthy, bruh. So how about the final battle? So obviously the final battle is Betrayus, and he's got a laser gun, and you got to avoid the lasers, and you can knock back the lasers through mirrors by standing on mirrors, and he'll like blast it like pew, and like zoop ding. And once you beat Betrayus, you will go back to Pacopolis, as a hero, ending Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. So, in the end, unlike Yokai Watch, there is some really good stuff in this game. Is there some bad stuff? Yes. Some of the levels are uninventive, some of the jokes are so unclean, and there's also some kiddie stuff about this game, and, you know, little kids bought this on the Wii U, and they're like, hey, I want to play a game based on my favorite Disney XD show, wee! But everything from the power-ups to the characters, the boss battles, the environments, they're all just so creative. And even a twist boss ending that actually makes all those power-ups, levels, and cliches work out pretty cleverly. And most importantly, there's multiplayer. Not gonna lie, multiplayer sucks in this game. So in the end, I can obviously recommend Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures for the Nintendo Wii U, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Nintendo 3DS. So if you guys want more video game reviews, I'm always here for you. So, see you guys next time for something that I'm planning. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. Sayonara, peeps. Take care.